Ah. Oh, hey, welcome back to Been a while since the last video, huh? You know, working, keeping busy. That all isn't gonna mind itself. Anyway, first, I want to thank everyone who watched the video. More of you than I ever could have imagined did, and I genuinely can't thank you enough. But a few of you did point out that I made a couple of mistakes while playing. Turns out I broke the rules I set without even realizing. So, as a form of reflection, I've made an itemized list of everything that I now know I did wrong. Technically playing RS2, using the wrong HUD, using this hairstyle, referring to Silverlight as Starlight, using the Bankhead Lumbridge.
Dude, is he okay?
I don't know. He hasn't left the mine in weeks, and he's been talking to himself for a while now.
Sigh. Poor guy.
And worst of all, saying that pickaxes came out in
2003
while displaying
2023
on the screen. They came out in 2003, not 2023. I did my research, I swear. As an apology for all that, I'm ending the series here. Goodbye. Okay, but seriously, my bad? Look, it'll become very apparent very quickly, forward thinking isn't my strong suit. But now that I've said all that, here's how I've spent the past 3 months. Last we left off, I had just completed all of the quests from 2001 and collected a total of 204 items, leaving 191 left to collect. And it was here that I was faced with a question. To use the wiki, or not use the wiki? That is the question. Look, I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off here. I used the wiki. Yeah, I know. Challenge over, the end of the series, blah 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 blah. Look, A, if I didn't, then I would inevitably somehow stumble upon an item in an anachronistic way, defeating the whole purpose of the original challenge. B, this would have taken exponentially longer than it already did if I was just mindlessly wandering around in-game. And C, I put a lot of effort into creating a system that crawls through the wiki to find literally every obtainable item in the game by year, so I'd really like to use it. So, after thinking about it, I made the executive decision that from now on it would go like this. While I'm doing the quests, I will be totally unguided. No wiki, no guides, no nothing. Once that's done, and I'm just running around looking for items I missed, I will then use the wiki to check how I can get an item. I'm not going to look up a guide on the best way to get the item. In fact, to make up for the fact that I'm using the wiki, I've decided to add the extra caveat that I will get an item in the most difficult way possible. Because I fucking hate myself apparently. If I can craft an item, I will craft it. If it drops from a mob, I'll grind the mob. If it spawns in the world, I'll go find the spawn, and if there's no other way, then I'll buy it. The only exception to this is holiday items, as you literally need to take part in the holiday event to get them, and I'm not delaying this video till October for a fucking pumpkin. Still haven't decided what I'm going to do about clue scrolls and random event items yet. I thought I'd ease myself into this overly complicated checklist by starting with the simplest to get, world spawns and store items. This was stuff like a tile, a crossbow, the Phoenix crossbow, because apparently they're different, clothing, armor, 4 different types of the same magic stuff. The only difficult part of this section was that some of the items spawned out in the wilderness behind a couple of high-level mobs, and the fact that I had to spend gold, which as a free-to-play is worth its weight in gold. Did I really wrote that, didn't I? Jesus Christ. I've played MMOs before, but I'm more of what you'd call a story enjoyer. I'm one of those weird people who will pick up and drop a game between updates and expansions no matter how good the gameplay is, because if there's no story to follow, my brain turns off and I get bored. Which is a long and complicated way of pointing out that the moment I actually took a second and realized that I now had to sit there and grind for mobs for a specific loot drop, I realized I had created my own personal hell. For those of you who don't know, loot works like this in OSRS. Every mob, that's these guys here, has a list of items that it will drop when killed, with each of those items being given a drop chance, which gets higher the rarer the developer decides an item should be. When you kill said mob, your personal MMO employee rolls some dice, with the resulting imaginary number being cross-referenced with the drop table, dictating what you get.
You get nothing!
Now this doesn't consider the fact that mobs oftentimes have multiple loot tables with multiple items also having the same drop chance. Plus, sometimes there are rare and mega rare drop tables with some items on those having insane drop chances. But thankfully back here in the simplistic comfort of 2001, that's not much of an issue yet. Take the humble barbarian for example. Now before you fuckers jump me in the comments, I'm aware that these aren't the original barbarians and that they got removed from the game in 2007. Yeah, I'm onto you. Think you'll have your little gotcha moment down in the comments? Well listen here you fucking Killing one will always get you some bones. It's a guaranteed drop. It's after that the gambling begins. I wanted both the ring mold and the amulet mold, both being a 1 in 128 drop chance. Now don't be fooled, that's not a guaranteed 1 in 128 drop. No. What do you think this is, a fucking gacha game? No, there's no pity system here.
Aw, dang it!
I got them to drop only slightly above drop rate, but that isn't always the case. Meet the Hill Giant, located here in the Edgeville dungeon. At combat level 28, it's nothing to write home about really. Pretty good spots to level combat and prayer as a free-to-play. But for me, they were the source of death runes. Death runes are said to have a drop rate of 1 in 128, same as the ring and amulet molds from barbarians. To get the ring and amulet mold, I killed 295 barbarians, so just over the average drop rate for both. Wanna guess how many hill giants I killed? 366. Almost 3 times the drop rate. All those poor innocent hill giants gone. Slaughtered. All for some runes that I honestly have no idea what to do with. Seriously, help me. I run around this game collecting stuff and I have no idea what to do with it.
What is that? What is that? Wait,
Skilling in OSRS is interesting to me on a conceptual level. Normally, content in this game is player versus something. Player versus player, player versus environment, but not skilling. Skilling is player versus time, versus yourself, versus the crippling realization that you've locked yourself into a commitment with this graph. This line represents the amount of XP needed for any given level. It's also providing a wonderful example of exponential growth. And if my past relationships have taught me anything, it's that commitment scares me, and I sometimes struggle with growth. After collecting every item that drops from mobs and spawns out in the world, the only things left were those that I had to craft. These were locked behind 2 skills, crafting and smithing. To be able to create every piece of jewelry and the holy symbols, I had to get to level 70 in crafting, which didn't sound too bad. I was wrong. You see, fair people of the YouTube audience, it turns out that there are only so many ways to skin a cow. And then take its leather to Al-Kharid, where you tan it, turn it into leather, sell it off, go back and kill more cows, take it to Al-Kharid. You get the idea. Much to my dismay, this was literally the only reliable way to train crafting. The only other way was to use mining to get gems. But if I was already mining, then I might as well start the smithing grind. If crafting was a lofty yet achievable goal, smithing was my first genuine oh fuck moment. Remember when I said that forward thinking wasn't my strong suit? Look, it'll become very apparent very quickly, forward thinking isn't my strong suit. This is one of those moments. See, crafting only required level 70. Smithing required level 99. Yeah, it turns out I accidentally made it so that I need my first 99 in my first year. Yay! Since I'm limiting myself to content that was around in 2001, I'm locked to this map here. In the previous video, the best route I found to mine was here in the Dwarven Mine, and then to ferry that ore back to the Edgeville Bank. On average, a full trip would take me roughly...
It depended on what ore I was getting.
Not very efficient, I know, and as you all know, MMOs are all about efficiency, Gotta get them pass numbers up. Does OSRS even have passing? Is that a thing here? What's the OSRS equivalent of ACT? I knew that this method was suboptimal, but since I was stuck with my lowly bronze pickaxe, it was the best I could do. That was until level 60. Level 60 opened up access to the mining guild in Falador, and that locked off section of the Dwarven mine that I've been jealously eyeing since I started this journey. And when I got access to it, it allowed me to shorten my runs to a blistering.
It's dependent on what ore I was getting.
Nice, so efficient. It also gave easy access to the smelter in Falador, making it by far the best available route for anyone stuck in 2001. Oh, I can just imagine this place bustling back in the day. Of course, Jagex had to throw a wrench in the works by making the closest, and I think the only proper smithing anvil be in Varric. But, I mean, this became my holiday, seeing as the rest of the route became my home. Day after day after day, mining down on the Dwarven mine, ferrying the ore back to the Falador bank, smelting at the Falador smelter, running my ingots to Varric, creating a ludicrous amount of plate bodies, and then running back to the Dwarven mine to mine ore, ferrying that ore to the Falador bank, smelting at the mining smelter, running my ingots to ferrying the ore back. Throughout this video, I may have sounded happy and mentally balanced, but trust me, behind this carefully curated and painstakingly edited YouTube persona, I am one incredibly minor inconvenience away from becoming the next content sensation via a flood of true crime videos. Look, it'll become very apparent very quickly. Forward thinking isn't my strong suit.
The man you're looking at is 26-year-old YouTuber Rockfish Enterprise.
At the end of the last video, I had spent a total of 82 hours in game. As of writing, I currently have 390. That is a difference of 12 days. And you want to know where that left me? A full set of Mithril. Fucking Mithril. The first of the 3 sets that I needed. Remember the graph from earlier? I'm fucking here! This is everything else I have to do! That's it. I'm done. I yield. I surrender. I've caved. Okay, but seriously. Yeah, this sucked. When I got started, I didn't expect I'd be doing my first level 99 grind immediately, so I was totally unprepared for this. I'm almost certain there are better ways to grind this, ways that are newer, more AFK or whatever, but this is the best I found within my constraints, and it's what I'm going to stick with, because I'm fucking stubborn. Was the time it took affected by this, plus my attention span issues? Yes, almost definitely. But I'm a big enough man to admit when I'm beaten, so yeah, sorry. I've baited you again. I didn't actually beat 2001. Just kidding. Fucking gotcha. I'm not done yet. That's right. You just got double baited in one video. I set out to collect every item from 2001 and I fucking will. After this video goes up, I will begin streaming on Twitch 8:30 till 5 AEST. I will continue to do so until I have completed this. If I can't beat the untested ADHD that runs rampant throughout my family tree by myself, then I'll just have to adapt and use you as a digital body double. Come watch live as I slowly lose the remnants of my mental stability over a 24-year-old game. Miss the depths of unemployment as I finally complete RuneScape 2001.